The cost of buying a car in the United States is going up, but you might not realize it by simply looking at the window sticker. That's because automakers have found increasingly subtle and creative ways to charge more without technically raising the MSRP. For the average car shopper, this shift isn't just frustrating, it's confusing. On the surface, brands like Ford, Hyundai, and Subaru say they're keeping prices stable. But under the hood of the car buying process, there's a growing list of quiet changes that are making vehicles significantly more expensive than they appear. It starts with reduced incentives. Just a year or two ago, shoppers could walk into a dealership and expect to receive a manufacturer rebate, a special lease deal, or maybe even a 0% interest offer. But those days are fading fast. According to the latest data from Kelley Blue Book, incentives have fallen to just 6.7%, down from 10% not long ago. That might not sound like much, but in real dollars, it could mean the loss of a $2,000 discount that would have helped offset rising vehicle prices. Add to that the fact that 0% financing deals are now at their lowest levels since 2019, and it becomes clear that the cost of borrowing is only making vehicles less affordable. Then, there are the hidden costs that don't show up until the final paperwork. Delivery fees, destination charges, and interest rates are all creeping higher. Buyers might not notice these increases at first glance, but they add hundreds or even thousands of dollars to the overall cost of ownership. In many cases, buyers end up paying more even though the sticker price hasn't changed at all. For dealer Morris Smith III put it simply, stealth is a good word for it. He's seen firsthand how the final out-the-door price for a vehicle has jumped by several $1,000s, even though the factory insists that prices have remained flat. But the rising costs aren't all due to sneaky dealer tactics. Global economic factors are playing a huge role. Tariff hikes are looming, particularly if the United States pursues new trade policies. Automakers know that sooner or later, they'll have to pass those costs along to customers. Some are already preparing for the change. Mercedes-Benz, for instance, is planning to raise prices on its 2026 models by as much as 5%. BMW will increase prices by nearly 2%, and Volvo is aiming for a 4% jump. Subaru has already increased prices by more than 4% since last fall. These aren't isolated cases. The entire industry is bracing for impact. According to experts, there's a tipping point coming. The cars currently on dealer lots were mostly built before new tariffs went into effect. But once those vehicles sell out, the next batch will be more expensive to manufacture, and those costs will be passed down to the customer. Dealers are already aware that the next shipment of cars will cost more, so they're adjusting pricing strategies in real time to prepare, and that's just the beginning. Automakers are also scaling back standard features on many models, while keeping the price the same. A car that came with heated seats, advanced safety tech, or an upgraded infotainment system last year might now offer those features only in higher trims or as expensive options. It's a quiet downgrade, one most buyers don't realize until they get the keys and discover what's missing. This decontenting strategy helps manufacturers maintain profit margins without raising base prices, but it also shortchanges consumers who assume they're getting the same value as before. Another tactic is shifting the burden of cost recovery onto more expensive models. For example, while an entry-level Ford Escape might only see a modest price hike, a fully loaded F-150 could experience a significant jump. Automakers can afford to keep their lower-cost models relatively stable if they recoup losses by charging more for premium vehicles. This strategy allows them to advertise affordability while still protecting their bottom line. In a way, the transparency of car pricing is becoming more blurred than ever. Buyers walk into a dealership thinking they understand the cost structure, only to be hit with a slew of variables that change the final price. With fewer deals, smaller features, and higher back-end costs, the buyer's experience has shifted. They're now expected to pay more for less, while being told that nothing has changed. Despite all of this, automakers continue to present a public image of price stability. Their messaging is carefully crafted to reassure customers while obscuring the reality of a more expensive marketplace. But savvy consumers are starting to catch on. They're noticing the missing features, the loss of deals, and the swelling monthly payments. And as more shoppers become aware, the pressure may rise for companies to be more transparent, or risk losing trust in an already skeptical market. The uncomfortable truth is that cars are getting more expensive, and there's no indication that this trend will reverse anytime soon. Even if inflation slows or interest rates drop, the effects of tariffs, supply chain disruptions, and cost-cutting strategies are already baked into the system. For buyers, this means adjusting expectations and preparing for a market where value has a new definition. For automakers, it means walking a tightrope between profitability and public perception. In the end, the sticker price on the window may not change, but everything else around it is shifting. From delivery fees to financing terms and disappearing features, the real cost of buying a car in America is rising steadily, quietly, but unmistakably. So the next time you hear an automaker say, "We haven't raised prices," take a closer look at the fine print. Because in today's market, what you don't see may cost you the most.